Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. Just getting things set up here. I'm gonna do a live demonstration of all of the cards that you get if you purchase my Filled with Sweetness card class, which is a to-go card class. The Filled with Sweetness bundle goes live on Tuesday with Stampin' Up. And this one is absolutely adorable. And so I wanted to get this out there so that I could take pre-orders for your kits and place the order Tuesday morning as soon as this product goes live. I think this is going to be a big hit. So I think there's a chance that items will go on back order fairly quickly. So that's why I'm getting a little bit ahead of it and hoping that we can get everybody's kits ordered on Tuesday morning, and that way nobody misses out on this one. This is a really fun collection. I believe the collection is called Homemade Sweetness, but the stamp set and bundle is called Filled with Sweetness, and I'll show you a little bit of everything. So if you're watching live, comment and say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching on the replay later, then just type replay in the comment section so that I know that you watched it at a later time. And I will go ahead and get started here in a minute. Just giving everybody a chance to get on. Hopefully everybody's having a great Saturday morning. I've been in my office all morning trying to catch up because I've been a little bit behind. I got all my calendar updated today on all the different platforms I have to update it on my business website, on my Facebook page, on Nextdoor, because I post all my classes on Nextdoor. I sent out another newsletter this morning to my local peeps, letting them know about my classes that are in person. That's over the month of March. So if you didn't get that and you live in Fort Myers, let me know and I'll make sure that I forward that to you. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. So this is going to be for my Filled with Sweetness card kit. It is to go, and it features a total of 5 cards. I was originally going to do 4, but then I decided to do 5. So I'm going to quickly show you all of the cards, and then we'll jump in and get started. So you can see I've got one card already sitting on the screen. Sorry, I'm just organizing my little pile here so I can go through and show you everything. So this is one of the cards we're going to make. This is the one we're going to start with. And I have to give a shout out. 100% I totally cased or copied, we call it casing, copy and share everything, from Amy Coenders. If you've watched me or followed me at all, you know that I love her style. Her style matches my style, and I just love her cards. So that's the first card. We're going to make that first. I'll just set that aside. This is the second card that's going to be part of the kit, and I'm going to show you another set of dies that coordinates with this, that creates what looks like that little file folder or a recipe tab. This is the third card. I mean, how cute is that honey bear? He's so cute. The fourth card, and this one, I need to give a shout out on this one. This one was designed by Simply Sweet Designs. I didn't actually see her name, just her website, which was Simply Sweet Designs. That was what she had on her watermark. So that is the fourth card. And the fifth card, this one I actually designed it, copied it right off of the Stampin' Up website. And we're going to use the die to create this jelly jar that opens up. So that will be the fifth card. So we'll save that one for last. I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the pieces that are part of the class. So if you do my class, I have 2 options. I have an option A, And option A includes the stamp set and the dies. Option B only includes the stamp set. If you only get the stamp set, then obviously I will be punching out all of the pieces that you need the dies for as part of your kit. I highly recommend, if you're going to get the stamp set, that you get the dies, because you're going to want to use the dies and make more. I promise you, this suite is just amazing. So what I'll do is show you first. This is the stamp set, and it's called Filled with Sweetness. And we also have the dies. Let's see if this is all on the camera here, that coordinate with it. And what's great is this die right here is the die that cuts out that standalone card. It cuts out both sides and it scores it down the middle. So then all you have to do is fold it, and you can just make a card. You don't even have to put it on a regular card. You could also make it and put it on a regular card and still have it open. You can also cut this out, cut it in half, and you get two at one. And this little piece is the little fabric piece that goes on top of the jar. So that is what you get. For option A, you get the stamp set and you get the dies. You will also get a packet of our strawberries and dots embellishments. You can see I've already used some. So you'll get a full pack of this to use on your cards. You'll have extras. And then you're going to get a half of a package of the designer paper that goes with the suite. Now, I will cut your supplies out of your half of your package, but there will still be a ton of extra pieces for you to create with. So I'm going to just do a quick show you what the paper looks like. I'll show you both sides as well. So you've got this one here with these pretty flowers on the other side. This is my favorite pattern of the whole pack. I wish we could just buy this pattern. Honestly, I think we could sell out on that alone, because it's just perfect for the cloth on the top. The other side has, it might be kind of hard to see, but there's flowers like daisies and little ladybugs. Then there's this sheet, and we're going to use this sheet, and we're going to be doing some fussy cutting on our cards. I love these. These are super, super easy to fussy cut. And I'm going to show you a little trick. Like some of these honey bears, you can see that you only can see, you know, part of it and not the whole thing. So a little trick, and it works on the jars too. It'll work on the jars as well. If you cut out this honey bear here, and then you come to the top and cut out this piece here, you can actually piece them together and get a whole nother bear to use on a project. And you can do that with the jars. And I actually did that on one of the cards. I'll show it when I get there, because I actually did piece it together so that I could show you how you can't tell at all. If you glue it together at just the right place, you cannot tell that it's not one piece. So that's one side. It's really irrelevant what's on the other side, because I like all of those pieces. But this is actually very pretty too. You just needed a generic background, and we are going to use a little bit of that. Oh, I might have already shown you that one. I did already show you that one. I might be missing one here. This is another one I wish that we could just have a whole pack of it, because this would be great for cards, for scrapbooking, for so many things. The other side, here you've got little mini jars. You could fussy cut these out as well, and I don't think I fussy cutted these. I could be wrong though. Then we have this pattern that has a bunch of different fruits on it. And the back side is this really pretty, this is Misty Moonlight Blue. So 1, 2, I feel like I'm missing one of the patterns. Hold on. I see it. The other pattern that I missed was, because I don't have a full sheet left anymore. Yeah, is this, and it has hearts on it on one side, and it has spoons on the other. And I believe we do use that on one of the cards that I'm making today. So one of the cards that will be in your kit. So I'm going to just move that aside so that it's out of my way. And that way we can jump in and get started on this first card. Again, shout out to Amy Conders. Thank her for always making such beautiful cards. She has the same style as me. I absolutely just love everything she makes. I think I made it a little different than hers, only because I cut it to only 4 inches wide instead of 4 1/4, because I'm all about trying to save on the designer paper. So we'll go ahead and get started. And to get started, let's see, where can I move this so that you can still see it? I think if I set it over here, you can still see it. I have my little envelope, and you'll get an envelope that will have all the supplies you need to make 2 of these as part of the kit. All right, I was just checking to see if anybody was watching or if anybody commented. And so I've got some scratch white paper here that I'm gonna need. I'm gonna set everything else aside. I've already cut out one of the dies included in the die set is this one here. And I've already cut that out just for the sake of trying to make this video go a little bit quicker. I got a lot to show you, so you know, this video might be a little bit long, so I hope you hang in there and watch. So we're going to use strawberry slush, and we're using the You're the Sweetest from the stamp set. And we're just going to ink that up. And we're going to stamp it on our label. I love our photopolymer because you can see right through it. So it's very easy to do that. And we're going to set that aside. And then we are going to stamp some strawberries and some blueberries. And we are going to use our Memento Black ink pad. But I'm cheating because I took a blank full-size ink pad. It's actually labeled as white, but it comes blank. And I put Memento ink refill in here so that I have a full-size ink pad that sits nice and flat for me. So we're going to stamp 3 of the strawberries. And you'll see I have my foam mat underneath. I always use my foam mat when I'm stamping with the photopolymer. And then we need 2 of the blueberries. And your kit will have the extra pieces. If you choose option B, which is the stamp set only, then I will die cut a bunch of these shapes out, but they won't be stamped. And then you'll just need to stamp onto the die cut piece. But you saw me do it on here. Like, it's very easy to line up because it is photopolymer. So now that we've done that, I'm actually going to close my ink pad so that I don't stick my arm in it, because that's exactly what I would do. Or close those up. Okay. We're going to do some coloring. And so we're going to start with, I've got our blends, and this is Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to come in on the stems of the strawberries with the Granny Apple Green. Now the blends do not come with the kit, so you can alter it. You can use whatever color you have on hand. Old olive you could use. I'm trying to think what other colors we have. I mean, even soft seafoam green would be pretty. So I'm going to come in here with the darker pointed end of the Granny Apple Green and just kind of go over the lines that are in this little stem on the top. And there's no right or wrong when you're coloring with your blends. So then we're going to come in with the lighter color of the same, the Granny Apple Green, to just color that in. if you don't use your blends, I highly recommend you get them out and use them because they're a lot of fun. I love coloring. I can't do it a whole lot just because of my wrist issues, but you know, that's okay. Many years ago I had a ganglion cyst removed from my wrist, and my hand's never been quite the same, so I probably look like I hold my marker funny, and that's because I am holding it funny. It's the only way that's comfortable. All right, so we got the stems. And with this, like, you can do as much or as little as you want. So you can come back if you feel like it's not blended enough. Or if you feel like you blended it too much, you can go back and add some more of the dark color. Then we're going to come in with the dark strawberry slush. And we're just creating some shadowing on the strawberries here. So I'm just coming in kind of where the shadows would naturally be. With our blends, just be careful, like don't get too close to that edge because it will spread a little bit. So you don't want to get it into the green too much. You can see each one's gonna be a little different. And I'm just not a perfectionist, so not that there's anything wrong if you are, I'm just not. So we're gonna come in with the lighter color, and with this one, we're just gonna do some coloring. I like to turn my paper as I go because for the way that I hold this, it's just easier. And that's that one. And you know, it doesn't have to all be filled in. It's okay if you like have a little like white showing through. It just makes it look a little more natural. So if you're getting the kit to go and you want to copy it exactly like I have it, so far we've used Granny Apple Green and Strawberry Slush for the blends. For the inks, we're going to use Strawberry Slush, which we already used, the Memento Black ink pad, and Misty Moonlight. We're not using a bunch of different colors. Now we're going to come in with the Misty Moonlight blends to do the blueberries. I'm going to use the fine point tip, and we're going to just color the little stem in the dark. And then where this little line is, we're just going to create a shadow. See, for any of you that feel like you're not very good at coloring, just watch me color and you'll realize that it doesn't have to be perfect. I know there are a lot of very, very talented ladies out there that are just fantastic with using their blends and the shading, and that's just not me. I think mine look great, but they can actually look better than what I do. So then we're going to come in with the lighter color and just fill it in. Again, I just keep turning it. It's just easier. I just find I don't go off of the edges too much if I turn it around as I go. When you're using your blends, make sure you're never going straight up and down with them. You can with the fine point, but not with the brush end. The brush end, you'll ruin it if you go straight up and down. All right. Almost done with the coloring. There we go. Now we are ready to cut these out. So I'm going to set this piece aside, set my foam mat aside, and for this part of the video, for this part of the cutting, I'm actually going to use my mini cut and emboss machine. so that hopefully I can get it all in the camera. Because I know usually when I do my cutting, I do it off camera, and so you never actually get to see what it is that I'm doing. So this time I'm going to do it on camera for some of the items so that you can see what I'm doing. Now I have just some washi tape that I probably got from a dollar store, and I like to hold my dies in place with the washi tape before I run it through. Hoping this is actually going to fit. It should fit. And so with both of our machines, it comes numbered. It tells you this piece, number 1 goes down first, then number 2, then your paper, and then number 2 goes on top. And we're going to just run this through. See if I can do this without shaking the whole camera too much, because the camera mount is actually attached to my desk. I did that nice and slow to try to avoid the shaking. So there we go. Go ahead and get another blueberry lined up. When I finish this video, I will send out an email with a link so that you can view it, and I will upload it to my YouTube because Facebook videos actually disappear after 30 days. So everything that I do live on Facebook, I always add it to my YouTube channel, which is just under my name, Tracy Comito. All right, try not to move the desk too much. If that shaking is bothering anybody, let me know, because I can move this and do it off camera if I need to, if it's shaking too much. All right, so I've got one more strawberry to cut out. So again, if you get option A, you're gonna get the dies and the stamp set, and you'll have everything that I'm using here with the dies, so you'll be able to stamp and color and then cut them out like I'm doing here. If you get option B, which is the stamp set only, then I will pre-cut all of your strawberries and blueberries, but they won't be stamped because I'm not allowed to do that. So here we go. I'm gonna move this back out of the way. And I think we're ready to assemble. So I have all of my pieces here. I've got a piece of strawberry slush cardstock. I cut it, normally we would cut it in half. A full sheet, you would cut it in half and get 2 out of it. You still get 2 out of a full sheet, but I have cut it so that this will, when it's done, it is 4 by 5.5. So when it's open, it is 11 by 4, and then scored because this is a top fold. And then I have a piece of white cardstock to go on the inside. And if you really wanted to, you could, and you know what, just for fun, I'm just going to show you what you could do. For the piece that's going inside, I'll bring out my smaller pad here. You could stamp a strawberry down in the corner. Because we're just being crazy, let's just color it in. Why not, right? Get the dark first. Dark granny apple green. Light granny apple green. This is just a nice touch. I don't do this a lot on my cards because I'm usually making cards and then demonstrating them, and then I put them in my craft bear pile, so I don't do it a whole lot. But I do when I'm making a card specifically for somebody. Sometimes I remember to do it that way. So, oops, I want the strawberry slush. I'm using the fine point. Again, we're going to come in and just create like shadows with the dark. Come in with the light with the bigger brush to finish coloring it in. now we've got that ready. And see, that was pretty fast to just do a quick addition like that. Now we're ready to put it inside of our, oops, I just moved the whole camera. My bad. I am going to use my glue. You know, that's my favorite adhesive. And we're just doing 5 dots, 1 in each corner and 1 in the middle. This goes inside of our card. For the outside, I have 2 pieces of designer paper. This one is 3 inches wide by 5.5. This is 1 inch wide by 5.5. It's all about maximizing the designer paper. So like I never want to cut it wider than 4. So like I would never want to do like a full sheet at 4.25 for the front of a card, because then you only get 4 instead of 6 out of a pack of designer paper. Used to be an accountant, so I'm kind of a numbers person. We're going to add this piece next to that. And when you get that on your card, you can always look. You can see it kind of goes over a little bit. So you can just come in with scissors and trim that off if you would like. I'm going to leave it because it doesn't bother me. And for all the little pieces that we're putting on here, I actually kind of like to lay things out before I start gluing them down. So I'm just going to come in and go, okay, that goes here and that goes there and this one goes here. Oops. And the blueberries are going to go up here and these other blueberries go down here. So once I kind of have an idea of where I want everything, then I'm going to just kind of come in. And again, you don't need a lot. Like I'm just using a little bit of glue. A couple dots of glue there. One dot of glue there. And 2 blueberries there. And for the last piece that goes on here, we are going to add this tag. We're going to add some of our ribbon. Now if you get the kit, you also get a small sampler, extra sampler of this ribbon. Obviously you're going to get enough ribbon to make your cards, but you're going to get a little bit extra in your kit. And I like to use our Stamp and Seal or even our tear tape. Works as well. And just put that on there. And I don't want to lay this on I don't want the adhesive to stick, but I want to get an idea of where I want to start this. So right about there. We're going to just fold this under. And because I've got that adhesive back there, it's going to stick to it. I made the loop a little too big. Some people are really good at this. There we go. Others not so much. There we go. And then we're ready to add that to our card front. And I'm actually just going to come in and add some more of our Stamp and Seal over the ribbon. And we're going to just tuck that in. And the last thing to add are our little dots. This is the strawberries and dots. You get a full package of these with the kit. We're going to use one large. I'm using my Take Your Pick tool. We're going to use one large, one small. And you can use as many as you want because you're going to have the whole pack to play with. And that is card number 1 with the added touch of the strawberry on the inside. Thank you again to Amy Coenders. All right. Card number 2. It's at this moment that I'm starting to think I should have maybe done a little more prep off camera because I decided to show you everything today. instead of prepping ahead of schedule. But that's okay. It's just to be a little longer video than probably normal. So this is our next card, and we're gonna start by just getting the stamping out of the way here. Set this over here. We are using the thank you from the stamp set, and this piece, this is the designer paper that comes as part of the kit, but there's another set of dies that coordinates with this whole collection. This one's called Made with Sweetness dies, and as you can see, it has this kind of, I call it like a recipe card or a file folder, and it has a smaller one and it has a larger one. This larger one would be great to make recipe cards out of. It has a bunch of fruits that you can also punch these little pieces out, and you can make the fruit. There's no stamping required. You just punch the pieces and assemble, and you're going to get a nice looking strawberry and blueberries, and you got peaches. So I used this one here and cut this out, and then I just cut a little bit off the bottom to make it a little bit shorter. And we are using strawberry slush and the word thank you. We're just gonna do it down here in the corner. I have to stand up so I can see what I'm doing. And that is the only stamping on this card. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little bit of fussy cutting. So my big question to you is, are you a fussy cutter? Are you team fussy cut or team no fussy cut? So I've taken some of the designer paper pieces, the ones that I'm going to need for this, and I'm just going to go through and I'm going to fussy cut, because we don't have dies for this, which would be awesome if we did. But I'm just going to go through and show you, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I like to leave just a little bit of an edge. But like if you mess up when you're cutting it and you mess up on leaving a little bit of edge, then just go back and trim it smaller and get closer to the black line. So there's one. Just wanted to show you, by not doing this ahead of time, I wanted you to see that it's really not that hard to do. You could do this on so many different pieces of our designer paper. We have a lot that you could, what we call fussy cut. You just need a nice pair of sharp scissors. So I love this strawberry preserves. I have to tell you, this whole collection reminds me of my mom. My mom would have absolutely loved this whole thing. My mom, we grew up with, when we were younger, we had a garden in our backyard. And my mom, with our help, we canned a bunch of vegetables. And she also liked to go strawberry picking, blueberry picking, whatever, and come home and we would can those too. So this, when I saw this, that just immediately made me think of my mom. Made me miss her a lot, but I think she would have just loved this. I think she would have truly loved making little recipe cards out of it. So we got one more to cut, just the strawberry left. So if you knew my mom, you probably would agree with me that she would have absolutely loved this. I mean, I can remember we always had a pressure cooker in our kitchen, and sadly, I wouldn't even know how to use a pressure cooker if I had one. So it's one of those things that, maybe I wish that I had learned from her before she passed. I always wanted to learn how to do some like sewing, but it was just easier to just say, Mom, can you sew this for us? And she did. But now I kind of wish I had learned a little bit more, because I really can't sew. All right, so we've got all of our pieces cut. That wasn't too bad. That didn't take too long. And we're ready to assemble. So I've got a piece of white cardstock for my base. This is our thick white, which I love using our thick white for the cardstock bases. And I'm just going to give it a good crease. And then we're going to start. So this is one of the patterns, the designer paper patterns. It's funny, I watched, I was part of a team meeting a while ago, and the lady was demonstrating this stamp set, and when she saw this sheet, she said it kind of hurt her eyes. And when she showed it on the camera, I was like, huh, that, you know, thought maybe an odd statement. And then when I opened up my own pack of it and looked at it, like a big piece of it, it does kind of hurt your eyes in a large piece. But it's really pretty. I think we use it again maybe on, like, it's good for the cloth that goes on top of the jar. I can't remember if we use it in one of the cards today or if it was on another sample I made. So I've assembled, this is 4 by 5 1/4 on the designer paper and a mat of strawberry slush. And on the back side, I'm going to come in and just add a couple pieces of our Stamp and Seal. You can also use double-sided tape if you don't have our Stamp and Seal, although our Stamp and Seal is awesome. And so I've got a piece of strawberry slush ribbon that I'm just wrapping around in the middle and then just adhering it to that Stamp and Seal. Then I'm going to come in with my glue, do my 4 corners and my center. All right, and then we've got the piece that we've already had cut out using the coordinating dies. And we're just kind of coming in. Now, I did this at an angle because I really like that, but if you're not an angle person, you could also do it straight on, and maybe I'll do this one straight on just so that I can show it both ways. I have cut out of our strawberry slush a circle. This is from the Stylish Shapes dies. My absolute favorite. If you don't own this, this is a must-have. I use it on everything. So I'm going to just add some glue on this. I'm just kind of putting it in the middle there. We're going to glue down our strawberry and our blueberries. And for the last 2 pieces, we're going to get out some glue dots to do that. I'm gonna have to get out some more sheets. I said glue dots. I meant dimensionals. My favorite embellishment. So we're gonna just put 2 on the back of the blueberry jam. Wouldn't this just be cute? You like, if you do know how to can and make your own jellies and jams, you could make some and you could include little cards. All right, so you need a couple more dimensionals for the other piece. That goes like that. So there you go. So you kind of have this or that. You can decide if you like it a little off center or if you're more of a straight on symmetrical. I'm usually pretty symmetrical, but when I make cards, I like to do them sometimes a little off center like this. And I actually like this better than the straight on, but it'll be your kit and your choice. So that's card number 2. Move it on. Trying to decide which one I should do next. All right, here's card number 3. This one does have some more fussy cutting for me to do. And so for this one, we're going to do a lot of fussy cutting here. We're going to stamp here. There's part of the dies. This is one of the dies that's included. And so that is what I've already cut out a piece of the designer paper. And this is the back side of what we're fussy cutting. So I just used a strip that I wasn't gonna actually cut to cut out the tag. And I've already cut that out. So all we have to do is stamp the words. So I'm going to get out my foam mat. Do you have a foam mat? Because if you don't have a foam mat, you really need one. And then I've got my thank you. We're going to use the Memento Black. We're just going to come in and stamp that in the middle. Close up my ink. So the stamping is done. So there's not a lot of stamping on this card, but there is some fussy cutting to do. So what I wanted to show you too, I mentioned this earlier in the video, was with the honey bear, how you could piece together two pieces to create one. This is actually, there's a seam right here, you can't see it, but there's the bottom and the top. And so I'll come up closer and try to see, like if you turn it at an angle, you can kind of see there's a little seam there. But I don't like to waste paper, and these bears are so cute that I figured I had to find a way to use all of the pieces of the bears. So I just cut out the bottom, I cut off the top from the designer paper, and then I just aligned them the best I could and glued them together. For the sake of this video, I'm cutting out one of the actual honey bears, because if you want to cut out just the honey bears without doing what I did, then you only get 4 out of the whole page. But when you do it the other way, I think you can get 8, maybe even more. I can't remember for sure. I'd have to look at it. So we are going to fussy cut all of these little jars. Again, I'm going to just show you, like, it's really, fussy cutting is nothing to be afraid of. And the more you do it, honestly, the easier it gets. There's a lot of people actually that will sometimes just buy the stamp set, not buy the dies, because they like fussy cutting. So they like to cut out stuff. I like to cut out stuff when I don't have a die to use. But if there's a die available, then I'm all for using the die. I mean, how cute are these little jars that are in this designer paper? I think this is where I'm thinking maybe I should have cut a couple of these ahead of time, but that's all right. I'll just let you enjoy watching me cut paper on this lovely Saturday afternoon. I guess it's still morning, almost afternoon. All right, so that was 2. You can see how fast this is going. And again, the more you do it, the more confident you get with it. And I kind of hold my scissors in one place and use my other hand to turn the paper around instead of holding the paper in one place and then moving my scissors. Three. Lemon curd. Now that's one thing I don't think my mom ever made. I don't know that I've ever actually had it, so I'm not even sure what it tastes like. Not a huge lemon fan. I mean, I do like lemonade, but I don't like lemon desserts normally. So I'm not sure if I would like lemon curd or not. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't tried it and I should give it a try someday. Got our blueberry preserves next. And our bear, our honey bear. He's so cute. We're gonna use him again on the next card because he's just so cute. See, that wasn't so bad. Didn't take me that long, I don't think. Just a couple of minutes. If you're just tuning in, I'm just sharing the cards that you will get to make if you purchase my Filled with Sweetness to Go class. There's a couple different options on how you can purchase it. Option A includes the stamp and the dies. Option B includes the stamp set only, but you will get all of your Precut supplies to make all 10 cards that I'm demonstrating today. So before we assemble, I'm going to go ahead. I also have a piece of white twine, and to work with the twine, I like to do this. It kind of just straightens it out because it's on a roll, so it's all like rolled around like a little piece of cardboard roll. I like to do that. I just feel like it becomes easier to work with. And then to tie the bow, get it tied, and then you come back in and you adjust it. Now, if you get this card kit to go, I tie your bows for you, so you don't have to do that. I'm just trimming off a little extra. And now we are ready to assemble. So we're using white cardstock, thick white cardstock base again. Make sure, yep. And this one is 5.5 by 8 instead of 8.5, scored in half. Because, again, for the designer paper, I want to get 6 out of a sheet. So I cut this designer paper in 4-inch strips so that I get 3 strips. And then I cut it at 5.5, so you get 6 per sheet. If I left the card base at 4 1/4, which it usually is with a half a sheet of cardstock, then either I would need to mat this, or if I cut that at 4 1/4, you only get 4 per sheet. And I'm all about efficiency and maximizing everything I can because I don't like to have waste. Where my glue? So we're going to start by putting this designer paper that has the spoons on it on the front here of our card base. Then we're going to add all our little pieces. And once again, I just like to kind of lay them out a little bit. Although I have a sample, but I like to lay them out normally. But because I have the sample, I'm just going to go ahead and start putting it on. So we're going to add the lemon curd to the far right. We're going to add the peach jam. It's a little crooked. There you go. Behind it. Just using my sample as guide. We're going to add our jar of cherry jam. We'll come in from the other side. We're going to add our blueberry jam. And our strawberry preserves. And last but not least, our honey bear. I'm telling you, he's just so cute. I'm like enamored with this honey bear. He's just so cute. I wish we had a whole sheet of him, honestly. The last thing we're going to add is our tag that says thank you. And that just comes across the top here. And we're going to add our bow, and I like using mini glue dots when I add bows. I don't like using glue because it's really hard for it to dry without making a big mess. So I'm going to just unravel this roll of mini glue dots. I'm going to stick the center of the bow on the glue dot and then peel it off of the roll. It's hard to see, but it is right there behind the knot on the bow. And then we're just going to come in and put that on the front of the card. Oh, there we go. That's card number 3. Are you loving the honey bear? We're going to use him again in a minute. So if you don't love him yet, you're going to love him in a minute. So here's card number 4. Seriously, isn't he just so cute? And for this one, love this paper. It was actually a little challenging. This is the one that was inspired by Simple Sweet Designs. So thank you to Simple Sweet Designs, because I saw this and I just felt like I had to make it. So we're gonna start. We do have some stamping to do. Move this over here. We're gonna first stamp the You're the Sweetest using our Misty Moonlight. And if you get this kit to go, and you get the full kit, well, either kit, whether you get the kit with or without the dies, I will actually pre-cut these dies for you. But I'm gonna stamp it and then cut it out. So we're just gonna stamp it here. This is the Misty Moonlight. And so this is a different die that comes with the set. It's a little bit bigger. So we're gonna put that where we want it. Hold it in place with washi tape. And I'm gonna do this off camera real quick so that I don't shake the whole desk. I'm just gonna run it through the machine like I did earlier. And avoid shaking the whole entire desk, the whole camera. And voila. That's what that die gets you. So we've stamped that. Now, we are going to use, one of the stamps is this large jar. And actually I'll show it on here because it doesn't have the words, so you can see it better. This large jar. So we're going to use that stamp next. And I'm going to show you a new tool that right now you can only get if you sign up to be a demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Before, I believe it's before Tuesday. I don't think it ends today. I think it ends Tuesday, but I could be wrong. So this is our new stamp positioning tool. It's, if you've been around a while, you know that we had, oh, I just realized something. I'm going to go back to the prior card in a minute. If you've been around for a little while, you know we had a stamp positioning tool called Stamparatus, and we ended up having to discontinue it because another company thought we copied their design, even though it was really completely different. So they had to come up with a new one, and this is what they've come up with. So what I've done is I've put that large stamp right on here, and I'm going to take this scratch piece of paper, and you can see what I'm trying to do here is cut out almost all of that. So we're gonna lay this in place. I'm doing this a little bit different than how I would do it. Like, this is just a full scrap piece, so I don't have to line it up perfectly. So you can kind of see that that's going to be on there. I just nudged it accidentally. There we go. And these are little magnets that will just hold that in place. I'm going to check it again because I think it moved a little. There we go. And so we're going to flip this over, and we're going to ink this up using our black ink. Sorry if I'm shaking the whole table and the camera. We're going to ink that up, and then you flip it over. And what's really neat is I can set this right here, and if I don't do anything, it hasn't done anything. It didn't stamp a thing yet. So I'm going to set it back in place again. I can make sure it's lined up the way I want it. And when I'm ready, I'm just going to push it down, hold it for a couple seconds, and push it up. Now what's nice is, let's say that didn't give me a good image, like it missed a spot. I have it in place. I can go back in with it, and I can do it again for whatever area I might have missed. And then you can make sure you just get a really, really good image that way. So I'm going to set this aside. Again, right now you can't buy that, but you can get it for free right now if you join Stampin' Up. So if you're interested in that, you know, reach out to me and let me know, because I can help you, hook you up and let you know what you need to do in order to get that for free. So now we're going to use this large die to cut out our jar. And we're going to actually use, we're only, you know, needing to use half of it. So you just line it up. This is hard to do because I'm not looking straight down on it. Like, you're looking straight down on it, but I'm not. And then there's another die that comes with this, that comes across here, that you can put in place. And this will cut a little slit so that it's like the jar is open. And we're gonna shove like a spoon and a honey bear down into the jar when we finish making this card. So I'm just gonna hold that in place. Going off camera a minute. Run that through the machine. I'm using I have to use the larger cut and emboss machine for this one because this would not fit through the smaller one. All right, so it cut out this, and then you can see that it cut a nice slit there. And what I want to do next is I don't actually want to use the whole thing on the card. You can see in the sample, I cut off a little edge of it before I adhered it. So I'm just looking to come in and cut off the edge of this here. So I'm just going to get out my my paper trimmer. I feel like I'm running out of room here. And I'm going to turn it this way because the bottom of this is kind of flat. So then I can come in here and just figure out how much do I want to cut off there. There we go. Now it's just going to sit on the side of the card versus being the center piece of the card. All right. That's what I think. Oh, no, not quite. I thought we were almost ready to assemble, but nope, got a little fussy cutting to do first. So we've got some more fruit to cut out. While I'm doing my fussy cutting, just want to say, if you're watching, say hi. If you're catching me on the replay, just let me know you're catching me on the replay. If you would like information about this to-go class and you're not on my newsletter, then comment newsletter below so that I can make sure to forward it to you. I'm taking pre-orders for this basically through Monday evening, because Tuesday morning when this product goes live, it is brand new. You can't even buy it yet. You can only buy it if you're a demonstrator. But when it goes live on Tuesday, I think it will be a huge hit, because you can see it's really just an amazingly beautiful and adorable set. And so I'm taking pre-orders so that I can get the to-go card class ordered on Tuesday morning. My goal is to have everything shipped out by March 20th, but I assume it'll be much sooner than that. That's kind of the last date that it would get shipped out. It all depends on shipping. When I ordered on Tuesday, it depends on how long it takes to get it to me, but once it's here, I'm usually pretty fast at cutting and prepping because it's one of my favorite things to do. I absolutely love cutting paper. I love prepping for classes. It's just fun. There's just something super therapeutic about cutting all this different paper and stacking it in piles and sorting it, and I don't know, there's just something fun about it. I've always liked it. For 20 years, I've always absolutely loved cutting and prepping for class. All right, so there's our 2 pieces of fruit. And we are ready to assemble. So I've got a normal size card base that is cut out of the thick white. I'm going to give it a good score. It's half a sheet of thick white cardstock, scored in half. This is one of the top folding so that it stands up. And I have a piece of our designer paper that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. We're going to just add some glue, 5 dots. I had somebody actually recently ask me if that really holds, and it really does. It's like super glue for paper crafting. But what I love about it is that you have a couple seconds. Like, I can still move this for a couple seconds and get it exactly where I want it. Whereas with some of the other adhesives, once you set it down, like, you're kind of stuck. You better hope you liked it. And the mat is Misty Moonlight, so it is going to be 4 1/8. Sorry, doing math in my head. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I like doing 1/8 of an inch mats versus 1/4 inch mats. It's just a personal preference. Then we're gonna add our jar. Now we just want to be careful when we add the jar because we are going to be stuffing a couple things in the top. We're gonna add, come on, glue, some glue, but and just be really careful about where we put the glue. Just because we want to make sure we can still stuff the spoon and the bear inside. So then this, we're just adding to our card. And we'll go ahead and add our spoon. This is one of the dies that's included. I used silver foil to cut it out. And it's nice because it's supposed to go inside there, so like you don't need the whole spoon. It's pretty clever, actually. Use a little less paper that way. So we're going to stick that in the slit. So we have our spoon. I mean, isn't that cute? Just the spoon itself sticking out of the jar is really cute. Uh-oh, I need a honeybee. Hold on. I didn't cut out one of my honeybees. I need to get my paper. And, well, I can't use it on this one, but on the paper where at the bottom you get like the top half of the honeybee, that's actually what I used here. I used just a half of one. I'm gonna actually get out the other sheet of paper because I don't want to use a whole one because I may want to use the whole honeybee for a different card. So I'm gonna get out the other sheet that's just like that because you get, you know, the packs come with 2 sheets. There we go. And so I'm gonna just come in and cut out this to put in my jar, and then I don't need to use a whole bear. Use that whole bear on something else. So we're gonna go ahead and fussy cut that real fast. See, it's just really, pretty easy to do fussy cutting. And I know, like, some of you might argue that you have a hard time cutting with your hands or whatever, and as I said earlier, like, I had a ganglion cyst removed from my wrist many, many years ago. And so my wrist has never been the same. It's hard for me to color. It's not as hard for me to cut. So I still love fussy cutting. Oops. We're going to add some glue. That was a lot of glue. You don't need that much glue. And we're going to stick the honey bear into the jar. Is it not just adorable? All right. Then we're going to finish adding our words. And our berries. And then we just have one more thing to add, which is our ribbon. And this is our Misty Moonlight, what do they call it? Checkered trim. And so I just need enough, because I didn't have one prepped. So about that much. So that I can tie a bow. Again, if you get this kit to go, I tie the bows for you. Not everybody likes tying bows. I've been doing it long enough that I actually don't mind. I'm going to make that a little smaller. There we go. Now we're ready to add that. I'm going to trim off my extra. And I'm going to get my mini glue dots. We're going to do the same thing we did with the other bow. I'm just going to take the bow and set it right on the glue dot. Because again, you don't want to use glue. And we're going to just set that right there. There we go. That is card number 4. I mean, seriously, how cute is the honey bear? And I love the spoon sticking out of there too. That's just really cute too. All right, and then, because I was moving so fast on this last card that I totally forgot to add the embellishments. We're gonna come back and add those real quick. So how cute are these little strawberries that are on this card? We're gonna get our embellishments back out. And our take your pick tool. If you don't have this, this is another one of those things that I use all the time. So we're gonna come in, oh come on, sticking to my tool, and add, it looks like I did 5 strawberries. Obviously you could do less if you wanna make your strawberries last a little bit longer, but I just really think they're adorable on this card. That's 5. All right, so sorry I missed that on the first go round, but I'm glad I caught it so that I could just show you how we're adding those strawberries in order to add a little extra to the card. All right, we are ready for card number 5, our final card. And this one, oh my God, this one is just so cute. This one, this was on the Stampin' Up website, which is where I cased the whole idea from. I'm gonna change up the embellishments a little on this one. So for this, I have already cut, I used the die already, and I have cut out the jar. So this is what it looks like when you cut out the full jar. Because when you get your kit in the mail, this will be cut for you already. Whether you get the dies or not, I will have them pre-cut. And then we're going to stamp on the jar. So you just need to figure out where your front is. So the crease is here, gets folded this way. So this is going to be the front of your card. And we're going to use the stamping tool positioner again. But before we do, I have to clean that stamp off because it has black ink on it, and I don't want black ink in my red ink pad. So, getting that cleaned and dried. My table's not big enough to have everything on my table. So, we're going to get our tool back out. And we're going to lay the cardstock on our tool. We're going to use the magnets to hold it in place. And then, this is the other way you can use this tool, is you lay your stamp right on what you're stamping. Then, I'm going to move these magnets to really hold this in place. You're going to press down to pick that up and hoping that it is clean enough. Okay, I got it clean. So we've got our stamp. We're going to use our strawberry slush. ink up our stamp. So we're just inking up the jar stamp. Now, if you order option A, where you get the stamp set and the dies as part of your kit, this is much easier to do if you stamp it first and then cut it out. But I just want you to see that if you get the kit, that this is how it's going to come. So I've got it already lined up because I lined it up on the step before, and all I need to do is just press it down, hold it for a couple seconds, let it pop back up. And it's on my card now. So let me just move this out of the way, since I don't need it anymore. So now we've got our card base here. We're going to give that a good crease, because now that we're done stamping, we're going to give it a good crease. And I have cut out the topper for the jar. How cool is that? Actually, I'm not ready to assemble yet. I'm sorry, I have some stamping I need to do first. So let me do the stamping first. So let's, we've got this, and then I need some scratch paper. We're gonna do a couple more strawberries. So let's get out. So for the Year the Sweetest, we're gonna use Misty Moonlight. I've already cut out the die, and that's how yours will come as well. So there's the Year the Sweetest. And then using the black Memento ink, we're gonna stamp 2 strawberries. We're gonna do a little bit more coloring for this one. So we're gonna need our Granny Apple Green and our Strawberry Slush blends. We're gonna start with the dark Granny Apple Green. That's the light. The dark, yep. And the fine point end. Just come in and draw some lines. Basically where they already have the lines. You're just kind of tracing it. Then we're going to come in with the light color, but using the fine point, just because if this has got detail, it's just easier sometimes to use the fine point when you have detail. One thing I like doing first when I have like dark and lighter colors is, like, I like to do the stem before I do the red, because then I've already kind of filled in this space with the green, and I'm not as worried about the red bleeding into there. All right, and then we're going to get out the strawberry slush. Now, the sample on the website, I have to show you this. They tried to kind of create this little like shadow by just not filling in that little spot. I tried. I don't love it, so I'm just going to color it in the way that I want to color it. So we're going to come in with our dark strawberry slush. Fill in our shadowy areas. That stem would definitely create like a natural shadow there. And then we're going to come in with the light color and just fill it in. Again, I just turn my paper. Make sure you're using this side of the brush, not the tip. Show you how, like, I could see, I guess that one looks better than my first one. See how I just left that? Maybe I'll leave it just for fun. And we're going to, off camera, I'll cut these out real quick. with our dies. All right, what are you guys thinking so far? I think this set is absolutely adorable. I mean, how fun, like, I should show you, I'll show you some of the other, I didn't even use all of the words that are included in this stamp set. There are some other words that are included. I got one more strawberry to cut out here. Okay, so we got our 2 strawberries. And we're ready to assemble. But what I wanted to show you is that there are other words that you can use. There's a love you very much. There's also homemade for you. So I don't know. I feel like I feel like I've always been one to go and give like handmade or homemade gifts. Like I used to do a lot of stuff at Christmas time. I always like to do gifts at Christmas time for people. And but sometimes like I just will like make some banana bread and I want to take some over to somebody, like a friend that maybe did something special for me, and I just want to give them a little something. You could just make the cutest little cards with this set to give them as a thank you card, or you know, have it just say homemade for you. So we're going to add first our little jar topper to the top of here, and I'm actually going to use our Stampin' Steel for this, only because there's a lot of detail to this. There's little dotted like lines that come through here to make it look quilted, I guess you could say, just to give it dimension. And I don't want the glue to seep through there, so I'm just going to use a little bit of the Stampin' Seal instead. So you could use double-sided tape. There we go. Then one of the dies actually cuts out this faux twine that you just go across the top of your jar. So it looks like you've tied twine around the top of your jar. And we're just going to come in with a little bit of our glue, spread it around. You don't need a lot because you just don't want it seeping out. And we're going to just line this up. Oh, I just moved it. So when you cut this out, there's like a natural little line for lining it up, as long as you don't move it. And then there's also a die that cuts out this bow. So now it looks like you've tied the twine with a bow and all. And so we're just going to add that like that. All right, then we're going to come in with our words. They're going to just be a little bit off center because we want to make room for our strawberries on the right. We got one strawberry. Oh, I'm going to move it a little bit more. See, I still have a little bit of time because it's our glue, so I have a little bit more time. I can move it over. I'll add one strawberry. And then we're going to add the other strawberry. And you can kind of adjust these as you go. And then I've cut out, we've got a little flower die as well. It cuts out these little flowers. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on the back of these. We're going to put one up here. Oops, that was a lot of glue. I don't even know if I did that on camera, but that was too much glue. Just pulled a little bit off just so that because I didn't need that much. I'm going to tuck this underneath that strawberry. I've got one more flower. Which is right about there. And we're going to come in with our embellishments. Because when I first designed this, I used some other yellow embellishments, which somehow I lost one, probably because I've touched this card so many times. But we're going to come in now, and I'm just going to use the small, I think I'm going to use the blue dots, the small blue dots in the middle to kind of just tie it all together. Don't be afraid to use your embellishments. Like sometimes I know people are like, I don't want to use them because I don't want to use them all up. Use them, use them. That's why you buy them. Make sure you're using them. I actually really like it with the blue versus I had used some yellow ones from a different pack. So this is the finished card. And if you wanted to, you could cut a piece of white cardstock to go on the inside of here. And if you did, what I would do is I would just measure and just cut an approximate size to put in there. So there we go. That is the finished card. I hope you enjoyed all 5 of the cards. If you have any questions on the card kit, what's included, how you can order yours, option A comes with the stamp set and dies. Option B comes with the stamp set only. Option A is $90, and it's going to give you all the supplies to make 10 cards total. You get the full pack of the embellishments. You're going to get a small sampler of this ribbon. You're going to have half of a package of the designer paper, and I will cut your supplies for your cards out of your half of the package. So it won't be like full sheets. It will have some, but it will have so much. There'll be so much left over. I don't use a lot per card, honestly. I try to get as much as I can out of a pack of cardstock. I mean, of designer paper. And it includes the envelopes. Is that everything? And a PDF with instructions, plus you'll have access to watch this video again on my YouTube channel, and include shipping. So that means that like I'm gonna order it, everything's gonna come to me, I'm gonna prep all the classes, I'm gonna get them in the mail no later than March 20th, and shipping is included in the price of that class. So I am offering the class at a little bit of a discount from if you purchased all the products yourself separately and tried to create all of these cards. So if you're interested, comment something below or send me a quick email, stampintracy@hotmail.com. And I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you later. Thanks a lot.